Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. You are welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. I hope you stick around and I hope you like it here. I am back with the final part of the video. This is the last part of the three-part series. I am happy and I am sad to see it go because A, it's been a long ass series and I can't wait for it to be over, and B, I really enjoyed making this video. I really enjoyed recording this voiceover. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one too.
Welcome back to Happy Marriage Tips Part 14. Answering a couple of questions that I saw from my very first video on Happy Marriage Tips. And they were saying, like, when their man mentions marriage to them, it makes them nervous. And I said in one of the comments, I said I was the same way. Like, in the very beginning, I was not ready. And somebody asked me, how did I thaw out? How did I get to the point where I was okay? Well, I'm just going to be honest. In the very beginning, he was so ready to be married. And I was just coming from such an independent woman who was raising me that I was a little nervous. And then seeing the marriages that I was used to seeing, it wasn't making me like, let me hurry up and do this. I did not come from a home where I saw my mom and dad happily married, or even her married to my stepdad. I just did not see that. I had a couple of marriages that I saw, but I wasn't there every single day to see it. So my perspective of it was I wanted it, but I was nervous about it because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to make it last. You know what I mean? So I was nervous about putting our money together. I was just thinking about financial combining was not something that I was like, yeah, let me jump into that. So what got me to go ahead and do it was something that my husband actually said to me prior. When I kept pushing the date back. I kept pushing the date back because I wasn't ready. And he literally said to me, I just want to love you. I was like, that's all he want to do. And I'm over here being difficult with my past experiences and my perception of something based off of my past experience or my past interactions with marriages. Once I just said, you know what, okay, God, let me just jump in like head first, you know. And so we went ahead with it. And I was really dependent on God to carry us through, you know. But this is the thing, you can't just depend on God to do everything. You got to learn some things, you got to research some things, you got to read about some things, and you got to be open to some things. There was a period where I wasn't. But thankfully, you know, I understand that it was just all fear. And fear, there's a reason for fear. It can help you to get more information. Sometimes fear is just letting you know, like, hey, I need more information on that in order to feel comfortable. And sometimes fear can cripple you to where you're not doing nothing. You just stuck in the same spot and you're not moving forward. So my thing is this, if you want to have a marriage with someone and you do have fears, just understand that that's totally normal. You know, it's going to be stepping into a whole new territory, waters uncharted by you. So just understand that the fears will come and you just got to lean on your faith. Be open and willing to do what it takes to get an understanding, to be understanding, to learn how to communicate, to learn how to open up, to be vulnerable, and not to be afraid of being hurt. Because everybody's afraid of being hurt, but some people say it as if they're like a special case. Like, I'm just afraid of being hurt. I was hurt in the past. Well, we all were. Okay? But whatever it is that you're wanting, you have to go after it. And you have to just go ahead and take that chance because this is the life we live. We're living this life and we say we want certain things, but we allow fear to keep us from going full force with it. I eventually thawed out and I was like, let's just go. Let's do it. You know what I mean? I wanted it. I knew what I wanted in my mind. I knew what I wanted in my head. So I was like, okay, this is what I want. I don't really know what I'm doing, but let's go. You know, and we were just so gung-ho, just some young kids. Not really kids, but 21, 23. So you just you got to decide what it is that you want and what are you willing to do. It always, literally, no matter what you do in life, it always comes down to choices, what you choose to do, and what you're willing to do. So, hope that helped. I get so many women in my DMs asking me, how can they get over the past? How can I heal from the past? How can I forget the past? Well, let me just say this. This is going to be part 15. I know I've been MIA on this subject, but if you have decided, because you first got to decide, do you want to work through this thing? Whatever it was. If it is something that you cannot bear, then you have to make that decision that you are out. And ain't nobody going to blame you. Okay? Because number one, nobody can tell you what you should deal with. Nobody can tell you what you should forgive. Nobody can tell you what you should stay for. It's literally between you and God. Okay? So once you've decided that you do want to stay and you feel like the relationship is worth working on, and that, like I said, that's going to come strictly from y'all's relationship. Once you decide that, then now you have to say, I cannot keep bringing this thing up. I know you want to keep bringing it up because you were hurt and you want to keep putting it in his face and putting it in his face so that he can remember and everything. But constantly bringing it up is constantly making him feel like he's a failure. Okay? He also has to decide that he wants to put in the work to show you that he's sorry. Whatever it was. It can't just be you saying, well, I want it to work. If he don't want it to work, he not going to show you. Okay? Please understand that when it comes to a relationship, everybody has their thing that they would deal with. Because some people can look at your relationship and be like, I wouldn't deal with that. I wouldn't put up with that. Okay, well, that's fine. You decide, because you're going to be the one that's in that relationship. So don't take nobody's advice as far as what they would do and what they would not do, because you're going to do what you want to do anyway. You're going to figure out if you want to stay or leave, and that's going to be on you. Okay? Once you've decided, the both of you have decided that you want to work on it, now it's work to be done. It's work to be done. It ain't no, it's just on you because you messed up, it's just on you. You have to facilitate a safe space for him to come and be humiliated, but still try to make things right. If every time he come to you trying to make things right or trying to do something for you, to make amends, and you always got the side eye, or you snarking at him, or you got an attitude, that's not really facilitating a safe space. And I know you probably like, well, how am I facilitate a safe space? I'm talking about after you have calmed down from the hurt. The hurt, we don't know which way it's going to lead you, right? The hurt can be up, down, left, right. It don't matter. And it don't have no guide to the hurt. But I'm talking about once you have come down from the hurt, and now you can think level-headed, and then you can make decisions. Because I always say, don't make any decisions when you're at a heightened, elevated state of mind, whether it's happy or sad, it don't, or hurt, whatever. Okay? So once you've come down from that, then you can decide, I want to work on this. But the thing is, usually we don't know what our part is when it comes to helping our significant other, because they need help. They need to know that they can come and try to present you with something, and they won't get knocked upside the head with this remembrance of what happened. Hopefully they're embarrassed. Hopefully they feel bad. Hopefully they feel like, oh my God, I almost lost the most important thing in my entire life, and I'll never get something as great as this. Hopefully they feel like that. Their actions should show that. Their actions should line up with that. And if you don't see that, then now you got another decision to make. Because maybe they don't look at you as the prize anymore. Maybe they don't look at you as something special and something that's adding so much value to their life. Maybe they don't look at it like that. And the thing is, if they don't, let them go. Let them go. But if you are deciding to stay in that relationship and work on it, please put in the work. Do not bring it up every chance you get, because you hurting you. You hurting you. You hurting the progress of you and him together. You hurting the progress. Okay? I understand wanting to keep it on the forefront because I need you not to forget. I need you not to forget. I don't need you to ever do me like that. Okay, got it. Work on yourself at the same time he working on him, because you want to make sure that, was I doing everything that I could do? Was I possibly doing some things that I didn't recognize as being something that was hurtful to him? Like I said, I don't know what the situation is, so I'm not even putting a whole blanket statement over this, okay? It's so many different things that we can be trying to get over from the past. So just know that, okay? You might be thinking about a certain situation. I may be talking about a completely different one. Just put the principles to it. Apply it, okay? So make the decision to stay if you want to. Make the decision to put in the work. Understand that you have work to do also. And do not continue to bring it up every chance you get, because you're hurting you in the process. Okay? Get some counseling. Get some therapy. Get a life coach. Do something to assist you with the pain, the hurt, the frustration, and the disappointment. But just know this. You can work through things if you decide together that you want that relationship, that you want that marriage. And things have to be changing. You have to make changes. You have to give each other a little bit of grace. But if you don't want to get over it, don't get over it. Be out. Okay. Oh, 6 minutes. Okay. If you have questions about that, put them in the comments and I got you. Happily married tips for people that are married or about to get married or thinking about getting married. If you're new here, please go back and watch my playlist. It's Happy Marriage Tips, and it's got 1 through 15, okay? So you can catch up. Going on date nights is not going to save your marriage. You have to first make sure you're communicating on a regular basis, that you're indulging in comforting each other, that you're indulging in listening to each other, talking to each other in a way that shows that you actually appreciate that person, that actually shows that you like that person. If you're not laughing together on a random Wednesday night, going on a date night, it's not going to solve nothing. Because when you go on those date nights, after not communicating, after not talking to each other, after not listening to each other, after not being attentive to each other, all you're going to do is just be taking up space and taking up time. You have got to learn how to enjoy each other's company. And the only way that you do that is be intentional with when you are together. Put the phones down. Don't let all these interruptions keep coming in. Listen to what the other person is saying and then give feedback. Like really dive into some deep conversation, you know? Discuss some topics that's going on in the world. And God knows there's plenty of them right now, okay? Watch something that's funny. Talk about something that's funny so that y'all can laugh together. If y'all not making each other laugh, something's probably missing. Okay? If you can't make your spouse laugh like a deep belly laugh, something is probably missing. If he not making you deep belly laugh, something's probably missing. There's some connection that might be disconnected. So don't think that just because you're going on these lavish date nights and you're going to these fancy dinners and you may be even going to vacations, don't think that that's going to solve your issues, because who wants to go on a vacation and just be arguing? Arguing on a vacation? No. So it's best that you do these things first before you stick to this plan of going on dates and going out and about, because you're not going to fully enjoy it. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to enjoy each other. And that's the main point. That's the whole point. Because when you're going out, it's just y'all. No distractions, you know. And y'all can really come back and connect. And not on some, okay, what bills we got to pay, or what things we need to do for this month, or this need to be done for the house. Like, this need to be done for the kids. Like, no. It's you two. Okay? Getting back to that lovey-dovey stage of just being interested in each other again. So then when you continue to do these things throughout the week on a random Monday, when you have those date nights, it's like you've been yearning for that alone time again. And when you get it, it's like, and you can be attentive. You holding each other's hands and you just looking in each other's faces, you know, undivided attention. You going on vacation. It is truly relaxing, because now you're enjoying the scenery, you're enjoying each other. You're not ready to go because you didn't argue. Now you're like, I'm ready to go home. What? No. Do not ruin a good vacation. If you are not in that space, don't take no vacation. So work on this month. This month, I want you to work on just dating each other throughout the week. You ain't got to go nowhere. You ain't got to spend no money. You ain't got to do nothing lavish. Matter of fact, don't do nothing lavish. Give each other your attention and affection and see how those date nights up 1,000%. Okay. Hope that helps you. Your man gave you flowers today. You ain't got to post it. He upgraded your wedding ring. You ain't got to post it. Y'all went on a super bomb date night and you filmed everything. You ain't got to post it. Y'all went out on a vacation, had an amazing time. You ain't got to post it. Post what you want, okay? Post what you want. Just know that you don't have to post everything to prove a point. You ain't got to show nobody nothing. Like, oh, look how much fun I'm having. You ain't got to do that. When you are in a truly happy relationship, you don't give a damn about nothing else nobody else got going on. Because you don't care about what nobody's saying about your relationship. Like, you past that whole time of, I just want people to see that I'm happy. I want people to see that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I want people to see that what I was saying before is true. Like, I was speaking the truth and I wasn't lying. Like, when you get past that point, you could care less. You don't care. Because you're too busy having the actual fun. You're too busy having the actual happy relationship that you always wanted. You're too busy, you know? And if you don't post 3 or 4 vacations, okay. If you don't post every time he give you flowers or candy or balloons or whatever, okay. Because if somebody say, well, they must don't do nothing, let them think it. Because them thinking one way or the other don't help your relationship. They just want entertainment. And you got to remember that your relationship is not entertainment for people. It's just not. Okay? So just be conscious of what you post and realize that you don't have to post everything. You realize you ain't got to make nobody jealous. You ain't got to make nobody mad. You ain't got to make nobody envious. You ain't got to prove nothing. The proving is done. The only person you got to prove something to is yourself and your spouse. It's a constant proving to them, but not in a way where, you know, it's exhausting. It's just like every little thing that you do is proof. It's proof that you're here, that you locked in, that you ain't going nowhere, that you're here for the long haul. That's the proof. So you need that energy for that. Not for these people over here that's miserable. Not for these people that don't believe in love. Not for these people that, you know, they're so heartbroken from so many situations in their past that they can't get past that, and they feel like can't nobody else be happy if they can't be happy. You see what I'm saying? You don't need to do this for these people that's not willing to put in the work. You need that energy. Keep it for yourself. And what people see, let them take whatever they will from it, because that's what they're going to do anyway. If these are the reasons that you don't want to get married, then please, by all means, do not get married. If you don't want to get married because you don't want to answer to nobody, you don't want to have to make a phone call and say, hey, I made it, just to make sure that, you know, they know that you made it somewhere safe, then you probably don't want to get married. Now, of course, that's not something that you do every time you leave the house. Now, if that's something you're doing every time you leave the house, oh, I made it over to my friend's house, or I made it to the gas station, or I made it to the school, or I made it to work, you might want to check on that one, because that there is a little bit of a control situation. If you don't want to think about somebody else before you buy food for yourself, you know, then you might not want to get married, because, you know, if you're out and about and you're like, oh, I'm hungry, you might say, okay, well, what's the time? The time is right now. Okay, it's probably kind of close to dinner, so I might as well call him and say, hey, are you hungry? Did you eat already, or whatever? If you don't want to do that, you might not want to get married. Do not get married if you don't want to stay up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning having a conversation which started as a disagreement or possibly an argument. Sometimes you got to stay up Sometimes you just gotta, you know what I mean? Sometimes, now some people decide, I'm just gonna go to bed and we'll sleep on it and then we'll wake up in the morning. Whatever it is, you decide, that's your marriage. But sometimes you might have to stay up and get that understanding and come to at least come to a stopping point, a halt, so that you can pick it up the next day. If you don't want to do that, if you need your beauty rest that bad, don't get married. Don't get married if you don't want to merge your money together at some point, sometime. Now, I'm not saying that you got to get one bank account. You can do whatever you want to do. It's your marriage. Y'all got to figure that thing out. But at some point, you're going to need to bring your money together for something. For something. And if you don't want to do that, you might not want to get married. Do not get married if y'all don't want to have a discussion about how y'all going to raise the kids. Woo. It's not going to be just you. Everything that you think on how you want to raise your children, how you want to talk to your children, what you want to do with your children, all of that, you're going to have to come to an agreement with your spouse. And if you want all the total control, you might not want to get married. Now, I'm not saying that, they got the right to do some stuff that you 100% don't agree with. That's not what I'm talking about at all. But, sometimes your husband might talk to the kids a little bit rougher than you, because you're just you're the parent that's just, rainbows and sunshine, mostly until you don't need to be. But as a mom, we tend to talk to the children in a little more delicate way, And sometimes the dad might be like, hey, no, they need this. They need this roughness, which they do. Sometimes you might be like, hey, yeah, you a little too rough. And then that's when an argument can ensue. So you got to come to an agreement. You got to figure out how that thing's supposed to work in the household. Manage the family business. If you don't want to have a partner in managing the family business, and you want to be the only one that has something to say about everything that goes down in the house, you might not want to get married. Yep, you might not want to get married. If you don't want to make decisions based off of what your partner might think, because you feel like that is a form of control, might not want to get married. Now, am I saying that you can't make a decision without, first, saying, hey, what do you think? Absolutely not. But see, there's where the intelligence, the marital intelligence comes in. You have to know when you need to bring that to him. Okay? And can't nobody tell you what that is, because it's your marriage. But, if you don't want to converse with them first before you make certain financial decisions, and you want to just be, that's my money. I made my money XYZ. I did this. You might not want to get married. Yeah, you might not want to get married. See, there are some things that have to be brought to the table. Understandings have to be come to a conclusion about. And there are just things that it's just like when you run a business. You can't just do whatever you want to do without ever having to get someone else's opinion or work as a team with somebody else. I don't care what level they're on, whether they're entry level or, upper management. You still have to work with these people in order for that business to run smoothly, in order to make the profits that you want. So a marriage is a family business. It just is. And if you want all 100% total control, you might not want to get married. To the man who said, the longer I'm married to my wife, the more I realize she's usually right and wants the best for me. I just don't like her tone. Let me help you out. And now this is not just geared to, did you see the butterfly? Anyway, this is not just geared toward men and the women. This is also geared toward women and men. There's the relationships, right? There's an equal exchange. Think about when you were in the beginning of your relationship and y'all were talking so nice to each other, talking sweet, right? So when you made requests, okay, because they were requests in the beginning. After so many times of making the request and not being adhered to, they start to become telling. Okay, now I'm telling you, right? And after the telling, then it starts to be demands, right? So now that tone is accompanying that demand. Because at some point you get a little bit tired, okay, of saying the same thing, right? Men, y'all get tired of saying the same thing. Women, we get tired of saying the same thing. And somewhere along the way, we start to get so comfortable with each other that we stop talking nicely to each other. Because now we feel like we know each other, right? Now we're so comfortable. I can tell you certain things and I expect certain things from you, but you're not giving me what I expect. And so now my tone is reflecting that. But if we can just remember, okay, to talk lovingly to each other, and I mean both of y'all, all right? Give us something to be soft with. You want the woman to be soft. You want her to be supportive. Well, give us something to be soft with. Give us something to be supportive of. Give us a space, a safe space, to let us know that when we come to you about something, it will be regarded. It won't just be tossed aside because you want to do something different. If you make a decision to be in a relationship, to be in a marriage, then you have to understand that sometimes you're going to have to do things that just really don't resonate with you in that moment. But for the betterment of the relationship, you got to take into consideration. So if your woman is saying, hey, I need you to do X, Y, Z, instead of thinking about her tone, where is it coming from? Where is the passion coming from? If your husband is telling you the same thing, wifey, it's like, okay, at what point will you show him that what he says or what he has to say or his requests are important to you? Because literally the fight comes in where one of us or both of us don't feel important enough for you to even consider the thing being suggested. So really both people on both sides, the husband and the wife, have some due diligence to do. So in the middle of the communication, if you don't like the other person's tone, understand why it's come to that type of tone. And the person who's making the request, are you making a request that is requiring the other person to no longer be themselves? Is it something that's going to take them completely out of their comfort zone when you know that it's not something that's in their comfort zone? And is it worth getting into a fight about? And if you're the person who's being requested of something, told something, is it worth getting into a fight just because you want to be difficult? Because you don't want to be controlled? Basically, what's it worth to you? And this is the big one. If you can come to the conclusion as to why somebody is requesting something, why is it so important to them, and how will it affect, in a negative way or in a positive way, your relationship? Because literally, if we're going to be in a relationship, isn't the main goal to be happy and be fun and joyous and enjoy each other's company? Why be in a relationship with somebody who you don't trust their suggestions? Because I guarantee you, if in the beginning that person was talking to you in the way that they're talking to you now, I guarantee you, you wouldn't have entered into that relationship. So that means that something happened along the way that made them develop the tone. And is it worth it to you to find out what it is?
All right. So that is it for the video. There are 19 parts, and I think I included all 19 parts. Now, for this particular series, I don't think I have a lot to add. I feel like everything was very self-explanatory, and there's not really much to say because obviously I'm not married. So it's not every single one of these that I can relate to or I can understand and be able to say much about. I can understand, but experiencing it yourself is different from understanding and being able to resonate with it. Now, with that being said, I'm just going to leave it at that. I hope that you were able to get something from the videos. Once again, if you're married, I would really love to hear from you. I would love to hear what you think about the videos in the comment section. I would also love for you to add your own tips or advice that you have to give, something that you think people could benefit from your experience in marriage. Leave that also in the comment section. I would love to read them. Now, this video is a rather brief one, but it's good. Consider subscribing if you like my videos. Also, leave a like on the video. It really helps YouTube to put my videos out there. And that will be it for this 3-part series. Yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.